We've all heard the phrases, no pain, no gain, or no guts, no glory. But when you get over 50, training's absolute failure with heavy weights can feel less like a challenge, more like a gamble with the health of your joints. So today, we're going to talk about how to get the maximum amount of muscle growth without the risk of injury that can sideline you for months. And in this video, we're going to be focusing on 3 of those strategies. Okay, number 1, prioritizing technical failure over absolute failure. So what is the difference between the two? So absolute failure is when you can literally do no more reps. You've completely exhausted your target muscle group, even with bad form, some cheat reps and whatnot. Okay, you literally can do no more reps on that particular exercise. Okay, that is absolute failure, and that is absolutely one of the main reasons why people get injured in the gym. So what we're after is technical failure. Technical failure is when you can do no more reps using the same correct form. So you've completely exhausted the target muscle group, but with no cheat reps, nothing else, okay? You just literally, good form, you can do no more reps. And it's at this point where the temptation to start cheating comes in, okay, using your body weight, momentum and whatnot to get those extra few reps in. Okay, we've all done it. I still do it myself from time to time. Sometimes I regret it, sometimes I don't. But if you do the alternative, going to absolute failure using cheat reps or whatnot, your tendons and joints are going to take a bit of a beating. And your tendons take longer to heal than your muscles do, so you have to bear that in mind as well. And on top of that, you are potentially risking, for example, a back injury because your form is off. We use correct form to protect ourselves whilst getting the maximum amount of stimulus on our muscles. So it's generally not a good idea to sacrifice form just to get a couple more reps in, especially as you're getting older. Now, if you want to overload your muscles a bit more after reaching technical failure, whilst using the same correct form, there are a few things you can do, including drop sets, for example, and I'll talk about a couple of other techniques in a minute. But before that, number 2, controlling your tempo. Now, inexperienced lifters tend to speed up the reps quite a bit, especially on the eccentric phase or the negative phase. But when that half century is in the distant past, you do not want to be speeding through those reps like you're being paid piecework, right? You want to slow those reps right down. And when your muscles are in a stretched position, for example, you don't want to just suddenly put the brakes on. That puts an awful lot of stress on your joints, your tendons. You want to slowly decelerate on the eccentric, maybe even put in a rest pause at the bottom. Okay, so the whole rep is nice and smooth and controlled. So no sudden stops, no bouncing. So 1 second on the concentric, 3 or 4 seconds on the eccentric. Okay, and not only will this technique protect your joints, but it will increase your time under tension, okay, which is one of the things you need for muscle growth. And on top of that, it's a lot easier to have that mind-muscle connection. The better your mind-muscle connection, the more muscle fibers you can recruit. The more muscle fibers you can recruit, the stronger you'll be. Okay, number 3, using Myo-Reps and Iso-Holds. So these have a similar effect to drop sets, but without the inconvenience of having to change the weight plates on a bar, or moving your pins on a stack. Now, I like using these myself. I tend to do them on my last set or 2. I think they're a really good way of overloading your muscle without the extra stress on your joints. Now, Myo-Reps are when you've reached technical failure and then you rest 5 or 10 seconds and then you do a few more reps using the same correct form. And then when you've done that, you can rest again another 5 or 10 seconds and do a few more Myo-Reps. You might only get 3 or 4 if you're using good form, and you can do multiple sets doing that. Okay, they're very effective and they're a good time saver as well. If you haven't got time to do 3 or 4 sets, you just do 1 full set and then you could do 3 or 4 myo sets. And every myo rep should feel pretty difficult as well because you're already pretty close to failure because you're only resting, like I say, only 5 or 10 seconds. So there shouldn't be any junk reps in there. Iso holds are where you just hold the weight in position, normally sort of midway or in the stretch position. So no lengthening or shortening of your muscle, you're just literally holding the weight in place. And doing these will help with your stability as well. In fact, anytime you hold a weight in place or your body weight in place, helps with stability, which is never a bad thing, is it? So again, this is a good way of stimulating your muscles with limited pain and injury. When you get into 50s and beyond, your pains are everywhere, aren't they? If it's not your back, it's your knees. If it's not your knees, it's your shoulders. If it's not your shoulders, it's your ankles, knuckles, hips and wrists. Maybe it's every single joint in your body. What a nightmare that would be. So being strategic with the lifting is essential. And on top of using some of these techniques as well, obviously, make sure you're warming up, mobilising your joints, stretching, all that stuff. Stretch after your workouts. Having an injury of any kind can set you back for months, and it can be quite depressing when you're losing all your gains, after all that hard work. It takes a long time to build muscle, especially as you get older. And obviously some exercises are more risky than others. Okay, compound exercises, generally speaking, are going to be more risky than isolation exercises because you're using heavier loads, multiple joints. But prioritising your safety and joint health will make a significant difference. Let me know in the comment section below if there are any exercises that you avoid or any strategies that you use yourself to avoid injury. I'll be curious to know. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.